Hi folks, I'm Gendy. I work here at the Anglican Centre for our bishops, and I'm really pleased to be able to talk to you about praying for 5 people to come to faith over our 10 days of prayer from Ascension Day to Pentecost for Thy Kingdom Come. One of the things that's key to remember is it is about praying for people to come to faith. It's not praying for our friends who already know Jesus. The whole point of this is who are those people in our lives that we would love to come to know Jesus, and how can we intentionally set aside some time to pray for them. Sometimes it can be a bit hard to identify who those people are. For me, I try to think of who are the people in my lives that I'm in relationship with at the moment, or that God seems to be maybe creating an opportunity for a relationship that I would love to come to know Jesus. Last year there was a person in my life who I was bringing to work because we worked in the same place, lived pretty much in the same place, and so there was opportunity for conversations, and so she became my first not. I'll talk about this, my first person, and then I decided actually I wanted to get to know the whole family, so that was 2 more people. And I thought of other people in the region. My family are a Christian family, so there was no one in my family to pray for, but who was there locally that I was sharing my life with that I would love to come to know Jesus. And it tended to be school mums, because that was my world. In my work world, most people know Jesus in the church world, so I didn't have that access. So I would recommend choosing those people that you already have a relationship with, that God seems to be placing on your heart. But then the next thing is, it's one thing to think, I wish they'd come to know Jesus. It's the next thing to remember to pray for them regularly. And I'm not very disciplined, so I needed some tools. And one tool was having a bit of rope like this, and I would do the knots on the rope. There's 3 there, but I'd have a knot for each person that I was praying for. And for me, I would turn that into a bracelet, so I'd tie it around my arm. I know a lot of us did this last year, and there are some people who you'll still see the knotted ropes. Mine seem to have a habit of falling off, but it meant I had something to fiddle with, and every time I found it and fiddled, it reminded me, that's right, I'm praying for those people. So I would go through and fiddle with the knots as I thought of each person and brought them to attention to pray for them. Some other things you can do is you could have stones lying around the place where you've put the initials on, or you might do, some people do, where you have in your pocket 5 stones, and as you pray you put them to another pocket, and then you just keep transferring back and forth, but as you discover them you intentionally pray for them. We all love making cups of coffee, so having a reminder on your jug, have you prayed for your 5 today? In those places where you remember is a really handy way to just stop and think, yep, while the jug boils, I'm going to bring those 5 people to God. The last thing I'd like to say is, this is not just about praying, that when we start to pray for people, something changes in us, and we need to be prepared to have our eyes open to see what God is doing and how He might want to use us. We don't get to pray and then be hands off. We're God's disciples, we're His ambassadors, and so be prepared to have your eyes open for those you're praying for, to notice the opportunities to speak into their life, to encourage them, to take the opportunities that might be present to share a bit about your faith. And if those people aren't in your immediate world, that might be the time to send them a card of encouragement, or to flick a text to them to let them know you're thinking of them, and maybe be courageous and say you're praying for them. But opportunities will arise because you're praying. You'll notice a lot more what's happening in their lives, so you'll know more how to pray, but also you'll have opportunities to engage and share God's word with them.